Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is NamasteKim. I am the enlightened empath. So, the topic of my video today is forgiving yourself after narcissistic abuse. It's a pretty loaded topic. It's one that I'm sure many of us have battled with within ourselves to get over this trauma, this CPTSD that we experienced after our unfortunate run in with a narcissist, whether that was a romantic relationship, a friendship, a colleague at work, school, this kind of can cross the board as far as healing. So, you must know something about NPD since you found yourself here, but as a brief recap, NPD is narcissistic personality disorder. It is only diagnosable by certified clinicians, psychologists, psychiatrists, and it is only uh, they can only diagnose a person with it after they are 18 years of age or older. However, the little caveat to that is a lot of narcissists don't think there's anything wrong with them, so they will rarely find themselves in a situation in a therapy kind of situation unless they are kind of forced into it, literally. Like maybe if they're court ordered, sorry, that they're to go, or if maybe it's the last straw and they just want, or they want to prove something to someone who might be new in their life, still maybe in the love bomb, then maybe they'll go. Very rare is it ever someone going who thinks they have it on their own accord and sticking with it, because the thing with it is it's really a really a culmination of childhood trauma. I mean, there are some people who say that it is something that can be passed down genetically, which I do also believe, but a good portion of it, so maybe that trait is already there embedded, because our personalities, a lot of them do also come from our parents, like, let's face it. However, childhood neglect or abuse can also play a part in these people abandoning all emotion. And actually, unfortunately, since they abandon it so early before they could even fully develop, it's very hard to reverse. So, um, anyway, moving on. Narcissistic relationships have a cyclical, very repetitive type of pattern. So much so that there are many forums. Quora is one that I follow. Of course, Facebook has the channels for survivors, and also YouTube has a million, just people like me who share their anecdotal evidence of this being an actual thing and not just in all of our heads, because the stories are literally so similar. Sorry. The stories are literally so similar that it's eerie. That people from all walks of life, all different ages, different backgrounds, ethnicities, and also living on different continents and in different countries, they all experience the same thing. And you wonder, like, how is this so? Well, let me tell you, it's because we're not all crazy. It's because we all did go through the same thing with different people. Anyway, so the love bomb, devaluation, and the discard. Those are the three, and then of course sometimes the Hoover, but not all narcissists Hoover. Those are the 3/4 typical cycles of a narcissistic relationship. All right, so once you reach that deval, and especially that discard, especially if they discard you, it is so abrupt and earth shattering, and it uncovers a lot of dirt that went down a lot of times, whether you walk into it yourself or see it through the grapevine, hear it through the grapevine, all of a sudden they're with a new person. They're doing all the things they did with you with someone else, even sometimes and then some. Literally within days, weeks, months, not even months. No, that's too long. That's almost like a normal person. Within hours, days, and even weeks of getting out of a very long, very serious relationship. It's insane. And you wonder, how are these people capable of this? So you start to dig. And then, of course, there's the words that they use with you and just the utter disregard of your feelings towards the end, and the abandonment they put you through, and the gaslighting. They made you feel you were crazy and you're just thinking things and it's all in your head. But then it does come to fruition and you're lost. You literally feel like you're in the Twilight Zone. So it causes you to do research. And when you do your research, you fell on what NPD was. It gives you a sense of relief because you actually were able to put a name to this mysterious thing that you believe your ex had. But also it does cause you to look back on certain occasions, specific events that took place, sometimes even from the very, very beginning. Let's be real. And now you see the gaps. And I think that might be one of the most painful realizations, because all this time, I mean, it's not your fault, but going back and reflecting, you almost want to kick yourself because you're like, how did I not see this coming? Okay, before you blame yourself, back up, breathe, and realize that you came into this situation with, or relationship, situationship, whatever you want to call it, with totally different intentions. And unbeknownst to you, this person came in with malintent. Selfish intent, at least. Maybe not mal at the very beginning, but hear me out. As an empath, as a naturally loving, kind, good-natured, good-hearted person, you know, of course everyone's cautious in the beginning, but once we reach, a certain amount of dates and we start falling in love and we start opening up and we talk even sometimes about the future with, this person. By the way, that's my dog in the background if you see something moving. Not just a big dust bunny, it's a dog. Then, so, where was I? Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, you come in with totally different intentions, pure intentions. And when you start opening up to this person, slowly your brain starts to calm, your mind, your logical thinking, it starts to say, look, this person does love you, or like you at least a lot, because look what they're doing for you. They're literally laying out the red carpet. They treat you like no one has ever treated you before, like you walk on water. It's okay. You can trust this person now. So then your heart opens up as your logical thinking kind of calms. And it's the most warm sensation, but it's also a little dangerous because it causes you to have that rose-colored glasses effect, and you stop noticing little inconsistencies right from the get-go. And when I say get-go, I mean like the first few months, not day one. But and that's kind of a trap. That's the trap they set. That is the trap they set. Because you will never be treated better than those first few months, maybe year, even up to I mean, this is pushing it, but I think my love bombing was extensive. It was at least, I would say, a year and a half to 2 years. And I think that was only because I had a unique situation, and I'll explain that in another video. But you feel euphoric, you feel special. And especially if you have a lower self-esteem, you you feel almost like you're on a mountain. Like you honestly have a false sense of self-esteem at that point, because this person has propped you up so high on a pedestal that you're literally looking down like, oh yeah, I am the shit. Like I do look good. I am like extremely intelligent, and you know, you kind of big yourself up, which is like one of the first experience in your life that, especially someone who has lower self-esteem, it's one of the few times you've ever felt this high, you know? Unfortunately, to them, in the beginning at least, they're drawn to you because, yes, your warmth and your light, that is for sure. But they're drawn to that because they think that being with you, they can take that as their own, which is very creepy and disturbing. But a narcissist feels like you are an extension of them, especially if you're in a relationship with them. So that's one part of it. The other part is that they are infatuated. I mean, let's face it. Most of us are very beautiful people. I mean, inside and out. And if they've never dated a person like you, and if you've come from somewhere different from them, they definitely have. I mean, they're all in because you are like a trophy piece to them. You know, especially if you're primary source, which I hate to use that word, but I'll explain that in another video. So, yes, in the beginning, there is mutual high energy. You know, it's like two forces collide, and you feel like you are one for a time, you know, until they get bored. So, you could be literally doing everything they ask. You could literally have the sun rise on them and the moon set on them, and listen to everything they tell you with intent, and never forget to fold their underwear a certain way. Literally silly, crazy things. Cook their favorite meal on Friday. I don't know. And it doesn't matter. They will still find something wrong with you. Or just simply get bored of you because they like a challenge. And let's face it, you're old news. You know, their whole family knows you at this point. Their friends. And narcissists are very impulsive. They don't think about the future. They think about what's going on here and now. Like if they're horny, they want something now, and it might not be you because they've been with you for X amount of months, years, decades, you know? And hence why a lot of them are cheaters. So that's just a little. But yeah, there is really nothing. So once you sit with this knowledge and you're reflecting back and you're seeing the inconsistencies and you're realizing this pattern of where it might have dropped off, at least initially, and you're real with yourself, you immediately go to blame. And like I said, I want you to know there's nothing you could have done to stop this. Whether it was sooner or later, you were going to get dumped unless you did the dumping. It was going to end, basically, is what I'm saying. It was going to end because these people are not satisfied for long. They constantly need to be fed admiration, adoration, you know, approval, all of these things, and adulation. I think those are the 4 A's. They literally always need attention. And even if you are doing that, then you have the caveat of they literally have like a pea-sized attention span. And mine actually was ADHD. So, or had ADHD, sorry, not was, had ADHD. So, not sure if that was a side effect of this bigger issue, the NPD, or if it was a separate problem on its own. But either way, lots of NPD people, if not all of them, they're never satisfied. And whether they're cheating in front of you or behind your back, they're doing it. Whether it's physical or emotional, they're doing it. Especially if you feel an inkling, believe it. I hate to say it like this, but there was nothing you could do. So, ways to get over it for you now. Done talking about the narc. They're out of your life. They're gone. You know what they had. You realize looking back there were signs. Unfortunately, you missed them. You trusted a little too much. You gave a little too much. Now what do? You have to make a game plan. So, when instances or memories of your relationship pop into your head periodically as you heal, as time has moved on, I recommend, jotting them down in a journal. This is just my journal, but literally write down your memories, man. And I don't mean write them down so you can boo-hoo over them. Of course, you will be doing a little bit of that, but I'm saying write them down so that you could also write after the memory. Of course, you don't have to have exact dates or anything, but just say, okay, on this date, or not on this day, I just said you don't have to. Just say something like, I had a birthday party and he didn't make it, and he gave me a BS excuse as to why I couldn't make it. All of a sudden, he was feeling sick, even though that morning he was fine. And that's another topic for another day. But that's an instance, right? That was a red flag. Right after that, write what you would do in the future if you encountered a situation like this. This practice will help you set boundaries, because that is something, unfortunately, that a lot of us empaths, codependents, we were lacking. And that's kind of the door we left open to allow something, I say something because these people are hardly people, something like that into your life, that energy, that darkness. And what we can do with these experiences is learn from them. Learning, helps us grow. Just like when we're kids and we don't listen to our parents because we think we're cool. You don't wear your knee pads, your elbow pads, and then what do? You go ride your bike with your friends down the street. You race. Whatever happens, maybe your tire hits a hits a rough patch of the road, or maybe there's a big rock and you don't see it until it's too late. Whoop! You flip, you fall onto the gravel, and you scrape your knee. Yeah, you're gonna cry. It hurts. It definitely hurts. But as time goes on, it does heal. All wounds heal. That's one thing. It's your choice, though, to learn the lesson from that pain. What made me fall into the situation? And if I encounter another person like this, because let's face it, they are very crafty and they're all different. Some of them are very hard to detect, but they all still have the same pattern. That is something we can always count on. When you see a pattern like this occurring again, how will you react? That's how you move forward in your life. And you never, at least not as, far, you won't get, if you take these lessons and learn from them, you won't get duped like that again. Maybe in the beginning, the relationship will definitely not go all the way to the discard. If anything, you'll be the one doing the discarding of the narcissist, So that's one. Learn, grow. Other than that, if you're religious, pick up your Bible, pick up your whatever your religion is, or if you're just a spiritual person. For me, I was religious as a child and then kind of abandoned it, kind of starting to get back to it now. Reading scriptures, it is very healing, but if you're not really into that, look up some quotes, some really inspirational quotes and life lessons. Look up the writings of like Mahatma Gandhi, of Nelson Mandela. Look up Maya Angelou, like things, quotes and poetry definitely help heal the heart. Even though they don't exclusively speak on NPD, it is a way in which you feel, these people have still experienced massive pain and loss, and it helps you to identify and know there is light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? Third suggestion I have for you to heal is get back into those things that you have abandoned so long ago. Like for me, I was a musician. Like I played piano, flute, clarinet, recorder. Like literally, I even played sax for a little bit. I just love music, and I have my keyboard here in the corner. I'm gonna start, going back into my old books, my old lesson books when I used to take private piano classes and try and teach myself again. Also, I bought a guitar. I'm gonna start teaching myself guitar via YouTube, YouTube University. And other than that, just getting out more. Like right now, it's summer in New York, and it's nice to just take a hike. Listen to some music outdoors, do yoga, get into your fitness again. And I know right now with the COVID-19 situation going on, it's definitely difficult. You can't do all the things you used to do. Going to gyms is pretty much out for most of the country right now, but you could do your own workouts. And actually, that's something I will be posting soon because I am a certified Pilates instructor. But doing things like that, cooking your own meals and things like that, it really is soothing to the soul, and it helps you at least momentarily take your mind off of the pain. So those are my suggestions for you to forgive yourself and stop ruminating on that situation that happened to you. That is in the past. That is in your rear view. Yes, it's important not to forget the past, but it is more important to learn from the past and try your very best not to allow yourself to be duped like that again, and learn to establish boundaries and things you will not stand for, deal breakers, because I'm sure you encountered someone in the relationship and you let them slide. Not saying they were all the way to cheating, but they could have been something as simple as, he borrowed my car and didn't tell me, or he didn't, this is going to sound a little petty, but he didn't get me a birthday gift or wish me happy birthday. But if you're in a relationship with someone, that's just something that's usually expected. Or even if they don't give you something physical, doing a certain gesture without having to be reminded, that's big. And narcissists, that's one big thing. The world revolves around them as far as they're concerned. So your birthday, they hate it. It's irrelevant to them. It's actually annoying to them. Like, do you really have to celebrate your birthday? Literally, I almost felt like that was a question that he wanted to ask me a few times. But yeah, don't let it discourage you. Not everyone on this earth is like that, and you will find that special person one day. But until then, get to know yourself, forgive yourself, and learn from that situation. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for hearing me out today, and I'm going to be trying to post at least one video a day, at least until I figure out how to edit. So as long as you like talky videos, and you don't mind a few ad-libs, then I think we'll be great friends. All right, take care.